Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
The division just got a whole lot tougher. And if you're a Blue Jays fan, you need to understand what's happening around you right now, because this isn't just background noise. The Orioles made a move that changes the calculus for everyone in the AL East. And it's exactly the kind of aggressive roster building that forces other teams to respond. Baltimore traded for Shane Baz from Tampa Bay, which is wild on multiple levels because the Rays don't usually deal quality arms within the division, and Baz is absolutely a quality arm when healthy. This guy was a first-round pick. He's got electric stuff, and when he's right, he can dominate major league hitters. The Orioles clearly aren't satisfied with how last season ended, and they're doing exactly what the Blue Jays tried to do, load up and push all their chips in while their window's open. They've got Adley, Rutschman, Gunnar, Henderson, and a core that should be competing for championships for years. Adding Baz to that rotation alongside whoever else they bring in makes them even more dangerous. And if Pete Alonso ends up in Baltimore, like some rumors suggest, that lineup becomes a legitimate nightmare to face every night. For Toronto, this matters because it raises the bar. You can't just stand pat and hope things work out when your division rivals are actively getting better. The Yankees are floundering, Boston's rebuilding, Tampa's in sell mode, but Baltimore is all in, and Toronto needs to match that energy or risk getting left behind. Now, speaking of moves that need to happen, we're down to the wire on Munetaka Murakami. The posting deadline is Monday at 5 p.m., and if he doesn't sign with an MLB team by then, he's heading back to Japan for another year. This has been one of the strangest situations all offseason, because early on, there was massive buzz around him. 25 years old, legitimate power, big-time production in Japan, and yet here we are days away from the deadline, and it doesn't sound like he's gotten serious offers. Part of that is the bat-only concern. Reports initially suggested he couldn't hit breaking balls, which obviously scared teams off. Those reports have since been walked back or corrected, but the damage was done. Once doubt creeps into the market, it's hard to recover momentum. The other issue is defense. He can technically play third base, but the scouting reports aren't great. If you're committing big money to a player, you want to know exactly where they fit defensively, and uncertainty there makes teams hesitant. But here's the thing. If you're willing to bet on the power translating, Murakami could be an absolute steal. Playing half his games in the Rogers Center, one of the most hitter-friendly parks in baseball, he'd have every chance to showcase what he can do. The Padres and Angels have been the most heavily linked, which makes sense given their needs and willingness to take risks on international talent. But Toronto's been in the mix too, and if they believe the hit tool is real and the power plays, this could be a short-term, high-upside move that doesn't cost them long-term flexibility. The smart play might be a 2 or 3 year deal with opt-outs, something that protects both sides. If he crushes, he can opt out and get paid. If he struggles, the team isn't locked into a disaster contract. But we're running out of time, and it feels like this is either getting done in the next 48 hours or he's gone. Which brings us to the Alex Bregman situation, and honestly, this one's fascinating because nobody saw it coming a week ago, and now it's picking up real steam. Jeff Passan went on Michael Kay's show. Yes, that Michael Kay who loves to trash the Blue Jays every chance he gets, and flat out said Toronto is very much in the mix for Bregman. Not kicking tires, not casually interested, very much in the mix. That was followed up by Ken Rosenthal confirming that Blue Jays officials have been in recent contact with Scott Boras, Bregman's agent. So this isn't speculation, this is real. Toronto is seriously considering going after a 32-year-old third baseman who just won a Gold Glove and hit .273 with 18 home runs last year. Those aren't monster numbers, but they're solid, and the defense is legitimately elite. 27 defensive runs saved, best in baseball at third base. That matters. But let's be honest, this feels like a reaction, a response to Kyle Tucker dragging his feet, Bo Bichette's camp playing hardball, or maybe Toronto just realizing they need to have multiple options in play so they don't get left with nothing. Bregman's a good player, but he's not in the same tier as Tucker. He's older. He doesn't have the same offensive ceiling, and you're paying for past performance more than future upside. That said, there are real benefits here. He's a proven winner, World Series champion, former teammate of George Springer, so there's built-in chemistry. elite defender who immediately upgrades the left side of the infield, and he's a right-handed bat, which gives Toronto better lineup balance since they're already loaded with lefties. If you slot Bregman at third, keep Ernie Clement at second, and figure out the rest from there, that infield defense becomes legitimately good. The problem is what you're giving up. If signing Bregman means you're out on Tucker or you let Bichette walk, are you actually better? I'm not sure. Tucker's younger, more dynamic, and gives you more offensive upside. Bichette's homegrown, connected to Vlad, and would probably take a discount to stay. Bregman's the safe play, the veteran who won't blow up in your face, but also probably won't carry you to a championship on his own. And yeah, the fact that this would sting the Red Sox, who've been trying to bring him back, is a nice bonus, but you don't make moves just to spite rivals. You make moves because they make your team better. So the question is, does Bregman actually make Toronto better than the alternatives? If the answer is yes, great, sign him and move on. If the answer is no, then this is just noise designed to create leverage or pressure other targets into deciding faster. Either way, something's happening soon because we're getting too close to the holidays for this to drag much longer. Meanwhile, Ernie Clement is out here living his best life, touring Western New York, signing autographs, hyping up Sabres games, meeting Josh Allen at the new Bills Stadium. The guy's having a blast, and honestly, good for him. He set a postseason record, he's become a fan favorite, and now he's enjoying the off-season before things ramp back up. That's what baseball should be about. Guys who love the game, connect with fans, and have fun with it. But back to business. The Orioles are loading up. Murakami's deadline is looming. Bregman's suddenly a real possibility, and Toronto's sitting in the middle of all of it trying to figure out which move actually pushes them over the top. They can't afford to whiff here. The division's too good, the competition's too fierce, and the window won't stay open forever. Whatever they decide, it needs to happen fast, and it needs to be right.